Hey, good people, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all is going well, and I hope your guitar and musical journeys are going famously. I thought I'd put together an easy video lesson on basic kind of licks that we can kind of get to sound really good. They're really easy to play, but there's so much that you can do with it. So not only in this lesson will I show you lots of fun licks that are easy to build from some scales, we're playing over a jam track, and jam tracks are an essential tool for the practicing guitars to hone their skills and to take what they're learning, putting it in a musical context, right? Because if you're just playing a lick, you know, it's a lot different than if you're playing it within a certain rhythm and you're playing it over certain chords and you're playing it in a certain timing, right? And you want to make it sound good in a musical context. So that's why practicing what you're learning over jam tracks is so essential. And the jam track we're playing over today is just a basic 2-chord change in the key of E minor. It's just an E minor to a B minor. If you want to get this exact same jam track, this E minor to B minor kind of, you know, Pink Floyd-esque kind of sounding psychedelic track, click on the link in the description box below. I'll send you my jam track coach. 6 killer sounding jam track, but the kicker is I'll send you 2 ebooks with that. And in the first ebook, I go over each of the tracks and I tell you what scales would work and why. I tell you the chords that are in the track. If you don't know a lot of those scales, I diagram them out in the second ebook, the scales ebook. So it's a really good package, and I'll send it to you for free. All you do, click on that link below. 6 killer jam tracks and 2 ebooks. Scales are the building blocks, right, to our licks. And in this particular instance, we're in the key of E minor. As soon as you see that, 95% of the time you could use E minor pentatonic or E blues over all the chords. You can also use the E natural minor scale, and that's just adding 2 notes to the minor pentatonic scale. It's really easy, and you get those beautiful half steps in there. So at the 12th fret, right, you might use that E minor pentatonic scale. Or E blues scale. Or you could try the E minor pentatonic and blues expanded scale. Here's that E natural minor scale, starting on that E note, 12th fret. Now I'm just playing these in the 12th position here, but obviously you want to learn the scale over the entire neck, right? And the notes in that E natural minor scale, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, right? Just one accidental F sharp. Now when you're soloing, of course, the big thing is not just the notes that you're playing, right? It's how you play them, you know, what you're doing with the notes, taking the notes and doing musically interesting things. If you noticed at the beginning of the solo, I was timing when the chords change and I was landing on certain notes as the chords change. And that's very, very important because you make really strong solo statements. Because remember, when you're playing this diatonic 7-note scale, or you're playing the minor pentatonic, the 5-note scale, some of those notes are going to sound good, but some of them might sound even better. You know, especially the notes that make up the chords or the chord tones. So just keep that in mind, the chord tones. An E minor chord has the notes E, right? Has your 5th, which is a B, and has the G, which is your flat 3rd. And in the B minor chord, you have your root, or 1, B. You have your 5th, which is your F sharp. And then you also have that D, your flat 3rd. So keep those notes in mind. Let's take those top 2 strings at first, right? So if we look at these 2 strings, the notes we were playing up here, Okay, so let's just create some licks. I'll show you some easy ways to start connecting things together. What I was doing at the beginning of the video is I created this little motif that if I was to play the solo longo, I'd kind of keep repeating that. Kind of very melodic. It's over the E minor chord, right? So all I'm doing there is I'm doing a string rake where I have my palm on the strings. I get that sound because I'm playing with my first finger barring the high E, B, and G at the 12th fret. And then what I do is I hammer from the 12th to the 14th with my third finger. And you get that sound. Then I go back to the 12th with my first finger. And then 12th fret on the B string. There's first finger, that's the E note, high E string, B note. Right? Notice I'm playing that B note, which is in the E minor chord. The E especially is the root. And then you slide out of it. Now we're taking just a few notes, the E, the F sharp, and the B, and we're kind of just doing some musical things with them. We're hammering on, we're doing a rake, right? We're vibrato. A lot of vibrato. And the other thing is I'm leaving lots of space. It's a nice slow jam track. The chords are moving slow. You want to leave space. What I did next, I slid up. And again, I'm staying on the B string, but I'm just using a few notes, but I'm using slides now to create interest, right? I'm not just playing these notes like... That's not musical, right? That's not really sounds like music. It's playing everything in the same time and in the same way. Space, vibrato. See, I'm holding the notes for a while, mixing up the time, and that's how you're creating interest. So that lick was, all I did was I slid up to the 12th fret, hammer to the 13th, pull to the 12th, hammer to the 13th, and slid to the 15th with vibrato. Right, that time I picked the 13. You could hammer, pick it, whatever you want. Hit it twice. All those little nuances, right? It's the nuances. Remember, it's not just the notes, how we're playing them. So, and this is all over the E minor chord. Keep that in mind. It's so important, the relationship between chords and scales, and what scales you like over what chords. So this is in the back of your mind. Always know the chords. I use these long slides where I came way out of the scale and just grab anything. It doesn't matter because you're moving so quick, ear won't pick up the dissonance. But you pick up that cool sounding slide. But here's the kicker. Remember I said to keep in mind when the chords change? Because we might want to pick certain notes out. Notice the chords change. The B minor, right when I go to that F sharp note. And that's important because that F sharp is that very strong fifth, right? In a B minor chord, remember? You have that F sharp note. And what I did was I played the F sharp note as the chords changed. And then I went right to the B note. And I was doing those bends. That's a great bend. I love doing that where I'm playing rake, 12th fret, 14th fret, 15th fret, back to the 14th, but I bend it a half step. That's a winner. Then you can release it in vibrato. Then I go like 12th fret, high E, and there's my B note. That B note is strong over both chords, right? Obviously it's the root note in the B minor, and it's in the E minor chord. Just to give you a couple more lick ideas, just on the B string. That's a really cool lick. All I'm doing there is, and anyone could do these. These are easy and fun and sound really good, right? 12th fret, 13th fret, this is all on the B string. 15th fret, back to 13th, back to 12th, but when I get back to 12, half step bend with vibrato, I'm bending it to the 13th. Make sure you check your bend, make sure you're not over or under bending it. And vibrato. You want to do some cool string bending to throw in there? A lick like that. I'm bending the B string. I'm bending that 15th fret up to the E note, the 17th fret. Sounds great over the E minor chord. And now when I let it down, I'm pulling off to the 12th on the B. And then I bend it back up. Release it. Bend it up again. I'll do it slow. And then vibrato it so you get licks like that. So you can see the power in what we're doing here. Very easy licks, taking our time with them, leaving lots of space, and using these devices and techniques, string bending, hammer-ons, pull-ons, slides, creating nuance, and taking the notes and doing musically interesting things with them in a musical context, over the jam tracks. That's how you want to practice this. Just get lost in that track and really start listening. It's so important to develop your ear as a musician, as a guitar player. One of the most critical things you could do, I always tell my students that, develop your ear, because you'll hear these notes and these chords, your ear will start taking you to them, and then you'll start playing them. A lot of times, slow down. Don't play as many notes. Try not to play just a few notes and make them sound good. Subscribe to the channel. That's really important because you'll know when those videos come out, and lots of our other content. It really helps us keep the content coming when you subscribe. Don't forget, get those jam tracks. Click on that link. Thank you so much for your support over the years. So appreciated. Keep putting those guitars in your hands every day. Stay positive, and remember, your guitar playing is an evolution. Take care and rock on.